Joseph, first of all, thank you very much for agreeing to be interviewed for the Smash project. Could you sort of begin by telling me where and when you were born?
Well, I was born in Nice in Ireland in 1935 in the August. And I was born in Nice, a little town in County Kildare. And there was four of us in the family. There was Tommy, Billy, Nancy and myself. And also in the little cottage was my grandmother and grandfather, my auntie Molly and my cousin John.
So was that 10 or 11 people?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 of you,
In a little two-room cottage.
Okay. And so could you tell me what your sort of first memory ever as a child was?
I always remember going down to the old, the annual sort of sports day down in Nice Racecourse. And that was when all the schools were let out. I vaguely remember that they were all different colours, different groups of people. And they were all waving their flags in the air and doing aerobics and all this, that and the other. Yeah, sort of thrill. Yeah.
Okay, so and so could you describe the house that you lived in? Was it in a village?
Well, it was just an ordinary little cottage. We go straight in there, but it wasn't a full door, it was half doors, right? And you went straight in, and the other door right opposite that, out of the backyard, which was only a little triangular place. I should imagine to be about 14 foot long, and about just outside the house it was 10 foot wide, narrowing right down to an angle corner. Yeah, no, it wasn't a very big place. There was no style about it.
Right. So you lived with your grandparents?
Grandma and grandfather. Yeah, we had brothers and sister, and Auntie Molly was there.
Right, okay.
And she had a boy called John Kelly. Yeah.
So what was school like for you then, Joseph?
Horrible. I hated it. I didn't mind when I was a youngster. When I first started school, we had a brother Caroline and I can't remember the lady's name. She wasn't a nun or anything. She was an ordinary sort of person, like, civilian. But brother Caroline was brilliant, right? But when I was nearly leaving there, I started hearing stories about the Christian Brothers School in Nice itself, which was just down the hill through the town centre. And the stories I heard put me right off even before I got there. Right? And I didn't like it even before I got there. Sometimes you used to have to drag me down to school. And as soon as the window was open, I was gone. I just flew out the blooming window and that was it. I was away for the day. Yeah.
So was it the discipline? Is that what you didn't like about the school?
No, it's just the stories frightened the life out of me.
Right. Okay.
So you got to remember, I was only a kid of about 7 or 8, and obviously it worried me to hear all that. So as soon as I get involved in it, I took the easy option. I went out the window.
You went out the window?
Yeah.
So you got taken out of that school and you went.
Well, I was such a burden to poor old granny and grandfather that the authorities got involved then in it, and to cut a long story short, I was sent over to a Christian Brothers School in Letterfrack, which was a Borstal, what it's called Borstal schools.
Oh right. Okay.
And of course there was no escape from there because it was out in the wilds of the country. And of course I had to attend, but they were pretty good. I quite enjoyed my stay there, because I more or less had to run the farm. I eventually got onto the farm and looking after cows and milking cows and just that and the other. Bringing down the milk into the kitchen. Yeah, really good that was.
So how old were you when you went to the Borstal?
I was just over 8.
8.
When I was put in there.
And how long did you stay there for?
I was 12, just over 12 when the father decided in his wisdom that he'd like Billy and myself to come over to England.
Oh right, okay.
mind I think there was a sort of a good reason for that. We were coming up towards working age, if you follow my drift.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I remember the year we left. We left in 1947.
So that was you and Billy. And you,
Well,
with your dad?
I was taken over to Artane, and just sort of team up with Billy, and then we were together there for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then we were both put on the boat for England.
What, by yourself?
By ourselves, yeah.
So there's no adult with you?
No adults with us at all, no.
And how long was the boat journey?
Well, we were coached all the way. Obviously somebody on the boat put us on the train. Well, it was a boat train.
Yeah,
for
right,
London.
Okay, I see.
But we had to change as crew. So we got off the boat at the train at Crewe for Derby, which where my old man and his wife was living.
Right, okay.
I remember that. That was 2:15 in the morning. That was Crewe station. No, not a soul about. I remember that. We had to wait for the train to Derby then. So anyway, the old man met us, but had a job to recognise him. I always remember the suit he wore. It was a sort of grey suit with a white stripe on it. Yeah.
So you hadn't seen your dad for how long?
Well, obviously probably nearly 4 years, because he went before I went to school.
Right. Okay.
He was already gone to England.
Right.
Yeah.
So you left Ireland with your brother to go and join your dad and his new wife.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. And in Derby.
In Derby, yeah.
Okay. And how long did you live there for?
I don't think it was quite 2 years. I got fed up. You know, I was about just over 16 when I left there.
Okay.
And I went back over to Ireland. And, well, what happened was father's wife had her mother living with her for a while. She was a Scottish lady, and she was living in the house, and he got fed up with me moaning and groaning, so he put me with grandmother, and came back together.
Right.
She put me on the train for Nice in Dublin, and I was going up Curvin's Lane, and grandmother came out the door and said, "What the heck are you doing here? Nothing here for you." That was a great welcome, wasn't it?
Oh dear.
Yeah. So anyway, I bummed around. I managed to get a little job with a Superintendent Murphy. He was Superintendent of Police. He was based in Maynooth. And I stayed there for a while. And I didn't like that either. So eventually I joined the army.
So how old were
I was
you?
just over 17 when I joined the army.
Okay.
And I stayed there for about three and a half years. And I developed a bad stomach and came over to England then proper on my own steam.
Right. Okay.
And by that time Billy was established. He met Anne, which she's behind you as well.
Right.
I met her at the Curragh and married, and obviously they moved back to England. And he was living in number 7 Crombie Street. That's where I met up with him again.
What, in Swindon?
In Swindon.
Oh, I see.
Crombie
So
Street.
that's what brought you to Swindon then?
That's what brought me to Swindon.
That your
yeah.
brother was living here?
That's right, yeah.
Right.
And
So what year was that then you actually moved back to Swindon? Moved to
God,
Swindon?
that'd be, yeah. Well, I stayed in Ireland about 3 years. What would that be? I have to remember the years, but anyway, I stayed about just over 3 years in Ireland, then went back to
Right.
England. So anyway, I met up with Billy, and I stayed there the night. And the next day, I found digs in number 10, Manchester Road.
Right.
You know where George White's
Yes.
place is?
Yes.
Just
I know.
Just next door
Okay.
to them. And I managed to get a job in the British Rail, in J1 shop.
Oh right.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the foundry. And that was hard work. Anyway, I stayed there for I developed a bad stomach again,
Right.
bearing in mind.